Hello everybody, and hope you're having a great day. For this video, I'm going to show you how to create a product, and we'll cover some of the deeper customization options for a product. So let's go over to the left and select Catalog, and we can either choose the product's text or the plus. If we select the plus, that'll bring up the Add New Product window on whatever page we're on, or if we go to Catalog and click on the product's text, it'll take us to the product's page. And from here, we'll go to the top right, select the green New button, and this will also bring up the Add New Products window. So the first thing we have is the product name. It is required and can be called whatever you'd like. I'm going to name it Video Test Product. Next is the SKU or item number, and this stands for Stock Keeping Unit, and it's used for inventory control, variants, and discounts, to name a few things. It is totally optional, but I'm going to add one. I'm going to call it VTP. Next is the price. This is required and is the base selling price for this product, and all price adjustments are based off of this value. I'm going to give it a value of 100. Next is the product photo. Now this is not required, but if you want an image for your product, you would add it here. Next is the category. Now this is required. And this product, or any of your products, can belong to multiple categories, and you can add in additional categories after you create your product. So we'll click on the blue folder here and then select one of our categories or subcategories. I'm going to choose electronics, and the green select button, top right. Next is the product description. This is optional. When your customers click on the product to go to the product details page, whatever is in here will be displayed to them. We also have the product status. This is required, and this basically just determines if your product is available or not. So we have in stock, out of stock, and variations like back order or discontinued. And then we finally have the on-hand quantity. This is not required, but if you'd like to keep track of your inventory, we can put something here. I'll do 5. Now, this is all there is to it to actually make a product. So if we go to the top right and click the green save button, we are done creating the product. But there are a few more options. So here under the general tab, we have the same stuff we saw previously, but a few additions, such as the GTIN. This is the global trade item number. We also have manufacturer part number and the manufacturer. So your primary category, we can edit that. If you have a shipping warehouse or warehouses, you can select which warehouse that this particular product ships from. Now, if you do not have multiple warehouses, if you just have one, if you leave it as default, it'll just use the one you have. Next is the hide product option. Now, if you clone a product, this will be checked by default, so make sure you uncheck that if you can't find it. Now, if you hide a product, it will not delete the product. However, if your customer has the URL address for that product, like the direct link to it, they can still view the product, but the Add to Cart button is missing. However, if a customer does not have the URL address, then this product will not appear on your store. Next is the sort order. Now, this determines in what order this product will appear in compared to other product sort orders. Now, by default, it is 0. If all of your products have a sort order of 0, then they will be sorted based on alphabetical, like the name. Now, the lower the number, that makes it appear first. So, for instance, a product with a sort order of 0 will appear before a product with a sort order of 1. And you can also have negative numbers here. Next is the custom URL. So by default, this is what the URL address, after the .com will look like for this product. If you want it to be something else, then leave the .aspx and the /, but we can just call it Video Test Custom. Next is the tax information. If you do not want this item to be taxed, select No Tax. And we also have a tax code field, and this is used for tracking the tax identifier on this product. Next is the product flags. So you may have noticed on your home page for a new store, you may have saw something that says like featured items or spotlight. Well, that's where you would make one of the products appear with that flag. And then like the C1, C2, C3, these are custom flags, and that can be modified in the product details HTML and in other areas of the HTML. Next, we have the product text. Now, the short description is different from your main product description. Whatever is in here will appear on the category page. Next is the page title. That's what will appear on the tab of your browser. And then the page keywords, page description, and head tags, those all have to do with search engine optimization, SEO. We have the add to cart message. So if you add something, if you add this particular product to your cart, we can put something here and that will appear. If your product is, if you want it to be a subscription item, you would enable that here. And then subscription frequency and frequency type work with each other. So I'll put like 2, and then you could select the frequency, such as 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, or if you don't want it to be renewed, then you just put no renewal. And you can also select which variable subscriptions you want to be an option for your customers to select. Next, we have the reward settings. If you want this particular product to let your customers earn reward points, you would enable that here. And the amount of reward points are set in the settings in marketing. But if you want there to be additional bonus reward points for this particular product, you would add them here. Now for miscellaneous, we have the notification email template. There is a default email template, but if you would like a special or a particular email template to be sent for just this product, you can select it here. Same thing with the override review rating dimensions group. So if you use product reviews, you can select a different rating group for this particular product. If you do not want your product to be discounted, select that here. If you require a credit card for that, here. Exclude commissions. If your store has affiliates enabled, then you would do that here. Force separate order means if this product is in your cart and you have other products in the cart also, it will force you to make a brand new order. So it can only be like ordered with itself. Approval required means that the order will not get approved until manually checked by either an admin or somebody with permissions in the back of your store here, or the admin area of your store. Days until reorder allowed. By default, that is 0, which means they can order it as many times as they want or as long as stock permits. If you put a number here, like 5 or 7, that means I can only order this particular product once a week. Previous item numbers, this is just kind of for like record keeping. If you have changed the item number, you can put that here just as a reference. Do not send review requests, so you can set it up on your store to where after a certain amount of time an email is sent to the customer asking them to review the product. If you don't want that to happen for this product in particular, you'd select that. And then lastly, if we have custom fields set up on our store, you can populate those for this product. Next up is the pricing tab. And this is where you can make any changes to the price. So we already set the base price when we created the product, but we also have the retail price. Now this is the manufacturer's suggested price, and by default the price is, if it's 0 or less, it will be hidden. Likewise, if the retail price is less than or equal to the adjusted product price, it will also be hidden. We also have the your cost. This is just the cost of the goods sold, and your customer will not see this price. The call for price checkbox, if that is enabled, then it will replace your product's price with your store's phone number and text letting your customer know that they need to call to discuss the pricing for this product. The no price mask, so by default, if your product is $0, then for the price it will just say free in all caps. If you want it to say something else besides free, then you would enter that in here, and you can also put it doesn't have to be text. You can just put like $0 like that. Enable minimum advertised price. So this is the map. It will replace your price with a text link that says something along the lines of the price for this product will be displayed when it's added to your cart. And if you actually click the link, it will tell your customers that the price can't be advertised because you're trying to give them the lowest price. But once it's added to their cart, they will be able to see the price. And then finally, we have the advanced pricing matrix. So if you want, let's say you're having a sale at particular times of the year, and you want to give this product a separate price without having to change, your base price, then you would do that here. So let's click on the New Price button. And we have a few options, such as if you have any multi-stores or micro-stores, you can select that from here. Or if you only want this to apply to certain customer types, you can select that. If you have any variants or variant inventory items, you can select these. If you want your new price to start and end on a particular date, you would put that here. Likewise, so you don't have to put a date, but if you do put a start and end date, that will put a strike through on your regular price, and then say that this is the the new kind of like sale price. Starting quantity. So by default, you would probably want to put this as 1. But however, if you want, say, this new price not to kick in until somebody adds like 5 items in their cart, then you put that here. Your cost and price, same thing as the normal product. Your customers won't see the your cost, and the price is what will actually be viewable to the customer. And then we have the variant price surcharge and price calculator. So if you have a price calculator or variant price surcharge set up, you can select that here. Alright, next is the descriptions tab. So you may notice on your product details page that you'll have tabs like description, reviews, etc. Well, these are generated from here. Now, a tab will not appear unless you have something in the HTML body. The external URL, for instance, if I put https Google on here, then instead of this being displayed in the HTML body, it would actually be the homepage for Google. Now, I'm not recommending you do that. This is just an example. Also, if you have something here in the external URL field, then whatever is in the HTML body will not be displayed. So this is where the tabs are controlled. And if we get down to the tab settings, we'll see the first thing is the store text and language. Now, if you click on that, it'll just take you to an area where you can change the default text on your store. For instance, if you want the description tab to actually say something else other than description, you can do that there. There's also show tab defaults from theme. Now, if you have other themes installed on your store and you've changed any of those themes to display tab names differently, then you can apply it for this particular product. There's also override theme settings for use tab on product details page. Now, what this is for your global theme settings, you can actually override some of them for this particular product. So, for instance, I have a setting disabled in the global theme settings. If I check this, that disabled setting appears. So I can say use tabs on product details page for this particular product, but all of the other products in my store globally will not have this enabled. And then lastly, we have the related items custom names, detail page custom names. These are just alternate headers that you can specify for your tabs. Next is the Photos tab. And from here we can upload new images for our product. We can do that in a few different ways, such as the green New button in the top right hand corner of the screen. Or we can click in this area right here. Likewise, we can drag a file and drop it into this area. And lastly, we have the Insert From button, where we can upload an image either from our store, our computer, or a URL address. So I'm going to click here, which will bring up our File Explorer, and then I'm just going to select an image which will upload it to the product. Now, all of the product's photos will be found in this area right here. To delete one of the images, in the bottom right of the thumbnail, click the trash can. Or if you'd like to edit the image, you can just click on the thumbnail or the edit button in the bottom right of the thumbnail. So this brings up our photo settings. The first option being edit this photo. This will bring up our image editor. You can do things such as crop the image, add special effects or stickers like this here. And we'll just apply and then save. And now when we exit out of the photo editor, we'll see that the image has been updated. Next is the image path. So if you'd like to upload a new image in place of the one we currently have, we just click here and select the new image. Next up is the alternate text and the description. So the alternate text is purely for SEO purposes. Your customers will not see what is in this field. The description, however, can be viewed by the customers, and I'll show you that a little bit later. Next is the sort order, and this determines which order that the images appear. The smaller number will always go before a larger number. For instance, an image with a sort order of 0 will appear before an image with a sort order of 1. If you would like this image to be the primary image, select this checkbox. Now you must have a primary image, yet you can only have one. You can't have two primary images. If you'd like to hide this particular image, select the hide checkbox. If you would like a different thumbnail for the image instead of the one you already have, you can select that here. If you leave it blank though, then this is the image that will be used. If you have Zoomify, you can put the Zoomify path here. And if you would like this particular image to be a video instead, you just select is video, and then if you go to YouTube, for instance, right click, copy embed code, and then paste that in the video content area. So let's give this a save and then check out our product. So I'm going to go to the top right, more actions, and then view. And we'll see if we hover over the image, we can see the description. Also, if we click on this image, since we made it a video, our video will load instead of an image. Next up, we have the shipping. So the dimensions and weight is our first section. Package weight, that's just used by our shipping providers to calculate the shipping fee, and then we pull that in using our API. For the weight units, we have a choice between pounds and kilograms. Now the dimensions, the length, width, and height, that's also used to calculate shipping rates. Now if your product is marked as shipped individually, then the package size will be passed to the shipping provider for live rates. However, if your product is not marked as ships individually, then the package size is used to calculate the UPS or FedEx dimensional weight, and then that dimensional weight will be passed to UPS or FedEx for live rates. Now speaking of ships individually, what this does is if you want this item to be isolated in terms of shipping from the rest of your order, then they'll check that. Now the shipping fee will be slightly higher, but it gives you a more accurate estimate if this product needs its own box. Call for shipping. So if you do not want to display the shipping amount for this product, check this, and then a call for shipping message will appear with your store's phone number on it. Call for shipping whole order is basically the exact same thing as call for shipping, except for it will do it for the entire order. Item is not shipped. That just means shipping calculations, anything related to shipping will not appear for this item. If you use a drop shipper, then you will do drop shipping right here. And if you have shipping regions set up and you want to limit this particular product to a specific region, you can choose that here. So breakout shipping, this allows you to have multiple shipping options for a group of items, and the items are grouped according to a classification code. Now this literally can be anything you want, just as long as let's say this product has this classification code and another product has the same classification code, then they are both grouped. But it allows you to have multiple shipping options in the same order. Now it only works with a drop down menu to choose the shipping options. If you have radio buttons set up, then it will not work. And we also have rates and fees. If you'd like to add a handling fee for this particular product, you can do so here. And the last thing we have is the rate adjustment type. Now by default it is set to auto calculation, and that's just using the actual shipping provider's calculated rates. However, if you would like to have an additional fee, which means it uses the auto calculation rate but then it tacks on an additional price, or if you just want a flat rate to kind of just ignore the auto calculation, select one of those, and then nothing's going to happen until you save. Now if we scroll down, we'll see that there are a lot more options available to us. The first section is your custom shipping methods on your store, and below that are just the regular shipping providers. So in this box right here, if I want FedEx priority to be only $5 and just ignore the auto-calculated rate, I put that there. Availability determines whether this method is available on this product or not, and you can also specify a region. So if I only want this to ship to my Denmark region, I can select that there. And for other shipping options, if I use calculated rates, that's going to ignore flat rate and just treat it as if it was being auto-calculated. Next up is the grouping tab. Now by default, products are not grouped together. However, if you would like them grouped, you can do so using this drop-down menu. The first option being sell items individually, parent is info only. So if this is selected, the parent item is not allowed to be added to the cart. Only child items will be added. Now to make a product a child item, you just search for it in your search box right here. And so I use video, so any product on my store that has video either in the title or the description or anything like that will appear. So if I select this TV, this is now my child item. Now if I add the parent item, video test product, to my store or to my cart, it will not appear. The only thing that will appear in my cart is this child item, this TV. Now you can also edit the child product and get a few more settings. First being exclude price. This ignores, if selected, the price of the child item and only uses the price of the parent item. And the sort order will determine in which order that the child products appear in, if there is more than one. Now something that's also noteworthy is if a product is added as a child product, so this TV for instance, to an info only parent, that means the child product will no longer show up on any category pages. So if you do not want this to be the case, it might be wise to maybe make a clone of this product and use the clone as the child item. Up next is sell items in kit with parent. Now this allows the group's child items to be purchased both as part of the group and as a standalone item. So also each instance of the kit is separate in the cart. So that means if you leave the page and then add another group or another kit, it's going to be handled as a different line item in the same cart. Now parent items will always be added to the cart because it ties everything together. The children can be added separately, so if you want to buy, we'll use a fruit basket again, you can have the fruit basket, but you can also buy the pieces of fruit like bananas separately if you would like. Another example would be like a second hard drive in a computer. It's still part of the kit, but it's an optional purchase. And last, we have sell parent track item inventory transparently. Now what this does is it's the exact opposite of sell items individually paired as info only. This makes it to where if the parent item is added to the shopping cart, that's the only thing that is visible. The child products will not be seen by your customer. And also once in the cart, it can only be removed by removing the parent item that's attached to. Now if we edit the child item, we'll see we have a few more settings. The first being is required. So if this is selected, if the parent item is added, this child item must be included. Next we have buying quantity to parent, so that means whatever the quantity of the parent will be, this child product will have that same quantity. So for example, if I add 5 parent items to the cart, then automatically 5 of this particular child item will be added. Auto add lower bound, auto add upper bound, and required quantity are tied together. So if I put 1 for low, 50 for high, and 7 for required quantity, that means that if the quantity of the parent item added is between 1 and 50, then 7 child items will be added. Next is the surcharge, which goes along with surcharge type. So if I put $+ and put 5, that means there will be a $5 surcharge. And if I put $-, that means you basically get $5 off from this child product. We also have exclude price and sort order again, which will just exclude the child price and use the parent price, and the sort order determines in which order the child items appear in. Next up is related products. So from the related products tab, we can choose items that will be related to our video test product. Now you would want to do this for items that are similar and your customers may be interested in also buying them during the same purchase. An example being if you were selling a hammer, you might want to have nails as a related product because your customer may need to buy those also. So all you gotta do is search for products on your store in the search box. So if I do women, it will bring up products that have that word in it. I'm going to select these women's Air Max 360 shoes. So let me save it real quick. And what this does, related products, is it makes them bi-directional. So say you have product A and you make it related to product B. Well, now automatically product B is going to be related to product A. And we can see that by going to the related product we just added, the women's Air Max 360. So if I'm in the related products and refresh, we'll now see that our video test product, has been auto associated to the women's Air Max 360 shoes, that checkbox right there. If there is not a checkbox, that means that the related item was added manually. Now we can also edit the related item, and the only option we have is the sort order, and that comes in handy if we have more than one product and we want to choose which order they appear in. Up next is the upsell products, and upsell products are very similar to related products. The only main difference is they are not bi-directional. So that means if product A is an upsell item of product B, that's it. Product B is not an upsell of product A. So same process to add it. You'll just type in something. So if I do comp and choose this LCD TV, give that a save. Now this is an upsell item, a video test product, but video test product is not an upsell item of this Sony TV. And we can also edit the product, and we'll see we have not only just sort order, but we also have an upsell price that you can put specifically for upsell, and we can just give this upsell item free shipping if we would like. Now the other field is custom upsell URL. Now what this does is if you have a certain setting enabled in your theme settings, which I'll show you in a minute, you can have it to where if video test product is added to the cart, then if this custom upsell URL has something in it, then your customer will be redirected to that page. You might want to put like a page specifically with upsell items related to this, and they can view all those. But like if I put Google, for instance, and then save this, and then go to this product, and then add it to my cart, not only can we, we'll see the upsell and related products that we added. Once we add this to our cart, we will be redirected, and here we are at Google. So let's go down to this you may also like. So these are the upsell related items. Now to actually display these anywhere on your store, or specifically your product details page, you have to add a widget, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's go bottom left to themes, and then we're going to edit our theme, our active theme. And now to enable that custom URL, custom upsell URL, global theme settings, and go down until you get to a section that says show upsells when may we suggest. Now by default this is set to never, but if you want it to appear, you can set it to always, or only if a product has related items, or if it has upsell items, etc. So but to add the widget, you want to go down to pages and then go to product details. If I can find that, there we go, product details. And then underneath product details, let's go down to widgets. So you need to add a widget called a product display widget, and we can do that by clicking on add widget, and then you'll have your list, and it's in alphabetical order. So let's just go down to the P's. Passed it up, and we want to choose product display and click add, and that will add that particular widget. And if you edit that by clicking on this little symbol right here, you can change the product display type to related items. And then once you do that, some new settings will populate, and you can choose to either show upsell and non-upsell, or upsell only, etc. And then just give it a save, and then that is what displays this right here. Up next is the Options and Variants tab. Now our first setting is Hide Surcharge Text. Now if this is selected, if any of our variants have a surcharge, this will hide the text from being displayed to the customer, but it will still affect the price. For instance, if I have a product that's $10 and I have a surcharge of $5, my customer won't see anything saying, hey, there's a $5 surcharge, but once they add that item to the cart, it's going to be $15. Now to make a variant, you want to click on the New Variant button, and then the first option we have is Variant Group. Now a variant group is just a logical division or a logical grouping of variants. For instance, if you're selling a shirt, you might have a color group, and then your label, which is what your customers will see, would be something like red or blue or green, or you might have for a group size, and you'd have small, medium, large, things like that. Now to make a new variant group, there are two ways. You can either go all the way to the left and click on Catalog and then Variant Groups, or from the variant details, if you click on the three dots with the three lines, it's the List Variant Groups button, it will bring up all of your variant groups, and from this window you can go to the top right and click on the green New button. Now we have a few options when making a group. The name obviously is what the group is going to be called. There are 4 different display types, first being a drop down. This menu right here is actually a drop down. You have a checkbox list. It will appear as a square like this right here, and you can select more than one. You have a radio button list, which is, instead of a square, it is a circle, and you can only select one. And then finally a quantity grid, and this appears as like a table with all of your variants and the variant groups in the table, and then you'll just put the quantity that you want in the field. Non-inventory just makes this variant group not count towards your inventory count. Default item text. So what this will do is, instead of being like, if you have a drop down, instead of it being blank, it can say something like, please select an option, something around those lines. Sort order just determines where the variant group is going to appear on a product, and hide will make it invisible to customers. It won't be, they can't select it. You have description, so you can actually give a description of the variant group, and then you have options to add header and footer HTML. So now let's go to the surcharge. Surcharge, like I said, it's just an additional fee that you might want to tack onto a variant if it's selected, and you have different types such as add a certain dollar amount, or add or take away a dollar amount, things like that. Dollars once means it doesn't matter how many of these variants you select, it will only add the surcharge once. Item number extension, what this will do is it will tack on to the end of your item number or your SKU number, whatever you have in here. For instance, if my SKU number for a t-shirt is T, so TEE, and if I add, let's say, -XL for the item number, then the full SKU number, if I pick that variant, will look like this. So it'll be T-XL. So this part right here, the -XL, will be appended to the end of the SKU number. Extension sort will just sort the variant, or excuse me, the item number extensions that you have. You can put a weight for the variants, and you can also give it a type as set weight to, or add an additional weight. And then you have a variant sort order, which is similar to the extension sort, except for this affects the entire variant. So for variant picture, we have variant swatch, variant color, and variant photo. So swatch is a small picture associated with a variant that you selected. The variant swatch color, if you do not have a variant swatch, the variant swatch color is just a color that appears next to your variant. You may want to use this if you're just dealing with colors. Variant photo will replace the main product photo if you select that particular variant. Under advanced, we have hide, and this will completely hide the variant. Default variant makes it to where this is the variant that appears first. It's going to be the one that is always selected first. Is variant package. If a variant is selected as is variant package, it will actually not show up on the product page. So the customer does not have an option to select it or unselect it, but it is automatically added to their cart, and they can see that variant that's inside the variant package displayed in their cart once they add it. And then if you have any attributes set up, you can select them from here, and we'll cover attributes a little bit later in the video. Now, after variants, we have personalizations. So to add a new personalization, click on the blue New Personalization button. And all a personalization is a question that you can ask your customers so they can customize their items. For instance, if you're selling a bracelet and you want like a something written in there like a memento, anything like that, you can ask that here. So the question is what your customer is actually going to see, and what they are going to answer. Is required means that they must provide some type of response to the question. Max length determines how much they can type. So for instance, if I have 3 as my max length, then you might want to use this if you're expecting an answer of only like yes or no. Sort order just determines which personalization is displayed first. Multi-line means instead of being a single text box, which is how it is by default, they can type in a lot more, assuming max length is left blank. Display type, we have text box with confirmation. What this does is they actually will have to type in something twice, just to make sure they got it right, and they have to match. And upload is just an option. It's an upload button, and your customer can actually upload a file. So for instance, if you say for your question, do you have an image that would help us with this or something like that, they can actually upload a picture or some type of file. Is step and step group. So if you have a question and depending on that answer determines if another question is asked, you want is step and step group. So for instance, for the question might be, do you have a dog? And if you have is step and step group as 0 or 1 or what have you, and your customer puts yes, then a new question can be presented like what kind of dog, as long as you have it in the same step group. And you can add a markup fee to specific personalizations. Up next is the inventory tab. So the first option in our inventory tab is non-inventory. Now if this is selected, that means no inventory rules set up on your store will affect this product. And because of that, as far as our system is concerned, you have an unlimited amount of this product in stock. So that would be really great for like a digital product. Next is on-hand quantity, and this is just the number of items in your inventory. Now if you're using variant inventory, this reflects the sum total on-hand quantity across all variant inventory items for this product. On order quantity is just the amount of this particular product that you have ordered. Minimum quantity and maximum quantity. So minimum, if I put 5 here for instance, that means I must have at least 5 of this product in my order to be able to successfully check out. And maximum quantity, if I put 10, that means I would have to have at most 10, so I couldn't have over that. So 11 I wouldn't be able to actually check out. Starting quantity is just the default number that would appear in the quantity text box on your product details page. Quantity multiple means so like if I have 5 in here, that means I have to have in my cart a multiple of that number, so multiple of 5. So I could only order either 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 of that product, and it does round. So that means if I have 11 items in my cart and this is set to 5 for quantity multiple, then it would round that up to 15 items in my cart. Low stock quantity, so if I put 3 here for instance, if my quantity gets down to 3, I will get a warning or an email. If I have warnings enabled checked, I will get an email sent saying that the stock is low. If I do not have warnings enabled checked, then I'll see that warning in any type of inventory screen or on reports. Discontinued is similar to out of stock, except for it'll say it is discontinued. An ETA date, so if you have an item shipment coming in on a specific date and you know it will be available, you can put a date here, and that will let your customers know when this product will be able to be purchased. So variant inventory items is a cool way that you can get combinations of your variants and give them specific weights, availabilities, pricing, things like that. So if you select this and then click on New Variant Inventory Item, this will display all possible variant combinations for this product. So I have like colors and sizes, and it gets like red small, red medium, green small. It gets all the combinations. If you check this box, it will select all of them, or you can select some just individually, and then click Save, and it will add that to your variant inventory items. Now you can edit these individual variant inventory items, and you can give them specific item numbers, manufacturer numbers, specific on-hand quantities for that particular combination, inventory combination, or excuse me, variant combination. Low stock warnings, its stock status for this particular combo, your GTIN, weight, things like that. And if you go to pricing and then do advanced pricing matrix, so let's click new price, we can also, if you do variant inventory item, give a specific price for that particular variant inventory combination. Next up is the Categories tab, and from here we can select which categories our product belongs to. Now when we first set up our product, we had to select a category, which is our primary category. Now you can only have one primary category, but we can add other categories. Now to do so, we can click on the New button, and this will allow you to make a brand new category that you can then select for your product. Or if you click on the blue folder, all of our categories will appear, and we can select one. And then you can do one of two things. You can either edit this category, make some adjustments on the fly, or if everything looks good, you click on the plus and then save, and then this category has been added to your product. Now to change the primary category, you have to go to the General tab and then select the primary category here. Now we have one more setting on the categories page, and this is the root min quantity and root max quantity. Now what this does is it keeps an item from being ordered if the category is inside the root category of a store and the min and max quantity have not been satisfied. Now for a single store, this isn't really useful since you can set a product min and max without doing it here. But if you have a multi-store or micro store, you can give each one of these stores a different min and max quantity for an item. Next up, we have the Attributes tab. Now, an attribute allows your customer to filter products in a category based on commonalities about your product. For an example, if you sell TVs on your store, you can have attributes to filter by screen size. You can kind of see them almost as like predefined search terms. So to add an attribute to your product, go to the top right, click the green New button. And then if you already have attribute groups set up, you can select them from this drop down, such as dress shirt. And then attribute of dress shirt could be color, and then we can give it a value if we would like. So we could say red, and if we want to, we can make it the primary attribute, and this is used for related items. So then click Save, and then now your product has an attribute, and we can also edit or delete that. So to make a new attribute group, there are two ways. The first is if we go all the way over to the left and select Catalog, and then go to Attributes, and then top right, click New, and then you can give it a new attribute group. The other way is when you are on this Edit Attribute window, if you click on these three dots and three lines, it will list all of your attribute groups, and then if you go to the top right, you can make a new attribute group. Now, so the first setting is you got to give it a name, so we can call it shirts, I suppose. Allow drill down means, an example would be like if you go to, let's say, shirts and then menswear and then t-shirts. To be able to get to t-shirts, I had to go to shirts first, then I had to go to menswear second before I could get to t-shirts. Allow multiple attribute assignment means it allows you to apply multiple attributes before actually searching for it. And tie with variant inventory, you can have this so if we were looking at variants earlier and it had that option to select an attribute, this is where you would select that. You can hide this group if you're not ready to use it. You can select a sort order to determine which order it appears in. Is theme store group and is admin only theme store group. Now the difference between these is this first one, if true, the attributes in this group are available to theme designers when deploying their themes. But if this one is true, it's the same thing, but it will only be able to be seen by someone in support or someone who has admin privileges from our end, from Capital One's end. Now when everything looks good, go to the top right, click the green save button, and once you save, then you're able to add the actual attributes to this attribute group. So if you click on new attribute, we can fill out stuff. So if I want to put size, we have sort order, and you can give it page title, meta keywords, description, custom URLs, and widgets specific to that attribute, and then save. And now save once more, and if we go back to our attributes for our product, we will see, I need to refresh, we'll see that the attribute group that I created will appear. So there's shirts, and here's the attribute I created, and I can put small if I would like, and then click save, and you're good to go. Now the next tab is e-product. Now an e-product is a non-physical product. It's something like audio or software, an ebook, videos, things like that. Now by default, the products are not e-products. Now to change that, we'll go to the e-product delivery type and switch that from not an e-product to one of the below options. The first being email a delivery link, unique URL will be generated for each order. Now what this does is it will literally just email your customer a link they can follow, and from that link they can actually get the download. Now our online stores actually stream the file to the customer, and that streaming link is unique for each ordered item. So our system even checks to make sure that the item was purchased by the customer before the file streams to them to be able to download, and this removes the risks of the risk of your file being downloaded by Spider or a hacker. Now the next option is email only, don't provide a link. Now this gets rid of the URL link, and instead it's actually just the file itself. Now if this is the case, your customers can download that e-product multiple times. And the last option is gift certificate via email. This behaves like email only, except for it's just the actual gift certificate code. Now the next section is e-product delivery link action. So if you have email or delivery link selected for the delivery type, then this is how you affect that. So the first is send to a page, redirect the customer to the delivery URL. Now this does exactly what it says. It will be a link, and once they click on it, it will send them to a separate page, and from there they can then obtain their file. Next is file download, start a download of the file at the delivery URL. So as soon as they click on that URL address, it will download the file for them. And the last option is Amazon S3 delivery, redirect to a time-limited file linked at the delivery URL. Now you can set up something called Amazon S3. It's kind of like an off-site delivery. We'll cover that in a later video. Below this is e-product delivery link URL. Now you can either have local files. They must be local, or if you're using Amazon S3, you'll have to have the proper path for that. So this just specifies the location of the delivery. Now if it's on your store, it would need to be in the format like / and then songs and then / and then the actual file name itself .mp3, the extension. Now if you're using Amazon's S3 service, you do not start with the /, so it would just be songs / file name .mp3. Now, the next option is allow multiple deliveries. So this just determines if someone can visit the delivery link more than once. Days until delivery link expires. 0 means there's no expiration. Other than that, it has to be a interval of 1 day. So it can be 1 day or 2 days. It can't be like 2.5. There's nothing to do with hours or anything like that. It has to be in whole days. And then lastly, we have the serial number file and email message. Now, if you have serial files, you can actually make a text document with those serial numbers and upload it here. And when someone has ordered that file or ordered a serial number, it will actually remove that from the file. So, and it has to be on its own separate line. So you would have a file that would have the serial numbers, with their own lines like this. And then when somebody orders an e-product that uses one of these serial numbers, it would remove the first one, and then the next one would be the new beginning of the list. Now, if you do this, you'll also need to include this specific merge code. So that's ## serial number ## in the email that gets sent, and you can attach that right here. And this will be an email message that's included to your customer if they order an e-product. Now, there's also one other section that has to do with e-products, so we want to take a quick glance at. So if you go to the very bottom to Settings and then Catalog, there'll be a section for e-products here in general. So let's scroll down to e-product settings. Now, you can set up the email or the e-product delivery email, and we have one by default, but you can modify that if you would like, or create a brand new one and choose that to send. And there's also send e-product delivery email when. Now, what this determines is when that actual delivery email gets sent. So if it's ordered, for instance, even if your customer's credit is declined, they'll still receive it. Paid means they actually have to pay for it, and it goes through to be able to get it shipped. If you set the action to shipped, they will receive it. And close, same thing. If you close it out, it'll finish. And here's where you can set up Amazon S3. These 3 boxes. And e-product PDF stamping text is if you have something here, and if you're sending a PDF, this text will be stamped to the bottom of that PDF. Unless that PDF is write protected, then you will not be able to have this stamp show up. So the next tab we have is stores, and from here you can hide a product from a specific store. If show all catalog is enabled for a store, though, a product cannot be marked inactive for that store. So that setting, show all catalog, is reached by going to settings, catalog, and then underneath catalog you want to choose active catalog, and there's a checkbox that says show all catalog, and in the top right hand corner is a drop down, and this has all of your stores or multi-stores. You can tell it's multi-store if it has a little dash underneath the main store. Next is themes, and from here you can configure theme layouts or templates specific to this product. And if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, you can also configure widgets just for this product specifically. And lastly, we have the Linked Products tab. So Linked Products is a way for sharing fundamental product data such as status, inventory, variants, etc. between multiple products. Now this allows you to have distinct SEO related product information such as descriptions across multiple storefronts while still maintaining a single inventory. Now this is accomplished by allowing each product to be used as a master product. So our video test product is the master product in this situation. Then you can create a linked product based on the master product. So if we go to the top right and click new, we'll see that the linked product is actually going to share certain information with our master, like the category, description, things like that, and even the SKU is based off of our master product SKU. But if we scroll down, there's some things we cannot change, such as the product status and on-hand quantity. And this is because this product is linked to our master product, and it's also linked to its inventory. So once we fill out the product name, I'll call it linked, And then click Save. Now we can share this linked product on a separate storefront with its own distinct information. So this is the linked product settings. It looks very familiar to our main product stuff, and we'll see that some stuff cannot be changed, but most of it is able to be edited. Now, something to realize is you cannot link together two existing products. You can also not link together a master product to another master product, and a linked product cannot be linked to more than one master. However, a master product can have as many linked products as you would like. Also, something to realize is when you create a linked product, this linked product is a brand new product on your store. So if you delete it from here, this section right here, it is only unlinking it to this product. It is not deleting it from your product catalog. So if we go to our main catalog, we'll see our linked product now shows up. And so to delete it completely, we need to delete it from here.